You lived a lot of life on the road in those early years.
I mean, from like the time I was 18 to like 24,
Yeah.
it was
And I was on the road a lot too in that time.
uh-huh.
Do you feel like that really shaped your worldview?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a gigantic culture shift for me because like I had only really been to like Orlando, Florida for a couple of vacations growing up, or like I had been
Disney or what?
Yeah. And like I had been to Myrtle Beach like once or twice by that time. So like I hadn't really been anywhere. And then all of a sudden you're just kind of seeing the world out of a van with a bunch of friends. And it's like, it's really a crazy experience when you look back at how like awesome that whole thing is.
Dude, it's amazing. But I think what's so cool about like going on the road like that when you're not big enough to be on a tour bus and you're just like renting a car or getting maybe a van or something like that is you're really living one day in each of these cities as if you kind of lived in that city. You're not going there like a tourist. You're going there like a person who lives there kind of, because you do a show, you meet up with people that live there, you're going to like the cool food spot, you're experiencing what it's like to live in, Dallas for one night. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to, Colorado and doing it there. You're not. It's not a vacation. It's not a tourism shit.
No, and like you actually oddly feels familiar to you because people know you.
Yeah, right. They're welcoming. They're welcoming you into the city.
Even like when you go to nightclubs, like they're trying to help you get in. So you don't feel like a stranger anywhere you go.
Right.
I also feel like my greatest life experiences have been taught through doing stuff like that, like responsibility. Like, you got 5 guys that are all living on your dime kind of, and you got to make sure that you're like,
yeah, it's a leadership role.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make sure you're financially sound enough to pay everybody what they got to be paid and like things like that. And like, it definitely teaches you a lot about responsibility.
Yeah. You have to kind of figure out like the P&L for the first time and like make sure you're actually making some money.
There were a lot more L's than P's in the beginning.
It's all about figuring out that balance of the P's and the L's.
Yeah. And like, even you were talking earlier about like, you just wanted to do live shows. Well, then you get into this position where it's kind of getting bigger, and now it's like you got to do a live show and you're not just rapping on a wired microphone anymore, like you got to set up lightings and like stage things, and it's just it's really fun to watch that grow.
Yeah, I've always kind of pointed out that I think a lot of my personality as an adult was shaped by my experiences like going out and seeing 48 of the 50 states pretty much. I think
Absolutely.
I've been to every state except Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana. So 47 states.
I think the only show I've never played, or the only state I've never played in is, aside from Alaska and Hawaii, would be Montana.
Dude, have you been to Alaska or Hawaii?
No, I haven't.
Go to both. And let me know when you go to Alaska. I'll get you tapped in with the mob up there.
I love that. We should talk about how we toured together.
Dude, what do you want to talk about? That was a great time.
I don't know. We were just talking about touring, and it just made
I know.
When we became friends. I got this tattoo on that tour.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. You got that in a hotel room, right?
Yeah.
Is that what was that, like a turtle or something? What is that shit?
It says HM.
Oh, right.
I remember I was like...
It was in that cool kind of like graffiti font, right?
It's Harry Potter font, actually.
Oh, okay.
We were really drunk because we got the giant bottles from Canada. Remember those?
Yeah.
Remember that giant fucking JMO bottle?
That's right. Yeah, we did do a show in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Man, that was fun. That was really fun. I think that was probably one of the best times of my life being on the road. And I've been on the road a lot. I've toured with Swayze, done my own tours, as you know. Like, I've been on the road a lot in the last 6-7 years. But I think the tour that we did was very like family. You know what I'm saying? Like it really felt like we were all kind of this this big group of friends. We all had like, you know, our own vans or cars that we were driving in, but we would all come together at the shows. And I think that's what's so, you know, what people might want to like hear about, like what is it like to do a kind of mid-level, like, you know, tour like that is like, you really, it's like a social experiment.
There's no rules.
There's no rules. You got like a headliner, the direct support person, and then the one or two other people that are also coming on that are like, you know, kind of on the ticket, you know, under the other people. And so that's like 3 or 4, let's call it 4 groups and like teams that are coming together, and you guys are going to go to 30 states in 40 days. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to just live together, hotels, you know, just kind of blood, sweat, and tears type of situation.
You're going to have the funniest stories with these people that you're just meeting. And
you don't really know each other, but then you really do feel like you really know each other.
You really do. Like, I feel like you're one of my brothers because I feel like I know you so well after doing that. And I've never been unfortunate enough to be on one of the tours where the headliner is a dickhead.
Yeah.
I really haven't done a lot of opening tour. I've toured with Mike and Sammy, really, but like,
yep.
I always hear horror stories about the headliner was very strict about what the openers did. I never had that experience.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times on some kind of one-off spot date type of situations, and you know, it's just so funny how that happens. But then it's like you get a situation like, because I opened for Mike a few years ago, and again, just like the night, it was like 10 shows or something like that, maybe even more, and just the nicest dude in the world, bro. Like coolest dude. Like, and you know, this was after he was kind of like popping. You know what I'm saying? Like these shows.
Is this like these days era?
Yeah, that was like the tour for that song, I feel like, and you know, that shit was crazy. We're talking like 1,000 people every night. And, you know, he's tour bus living, like, you know, just crazy. And he's letting all of us, you know, me and my whole team on the tour bus every single night. Like, you know, he didn't have to do that. But again, it's that mutual respect of like, you know, I think we've all come up around that same time period and just, you know, this is a job. We're all playing a role. You know what I'm saying? And I think most people, maybe not most people, but the good people understand that, and then there are people who maybe are driven by the wrong reasons sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Ego and things like that.
Yeah, I've heard stories where it's like, no, you're lucky to be on my tour.
Right. And it's like, you know, I don't think that mentality makes anyone happy at the end of the day. Like, even the person that's doing it. You know what I'm saying?